Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. If you're wondering why I'm talking about that, it's because I need to need to cough. I don't know what that was about. So we were supposed to review Breakfast at Tiffany's today, which was Safi's choice. It's funny because I'm the one who likes Audrey Hepburn. But she's the one who has chosen to watch her movie, a movie of hers, twice. So anyways, we couldn't do that because this day has just been too busy. We had a lot of stuff to do. And Breakfast at Tiffany's is 2 hours. If I didn't have to review Hell's Kitchen at 9 o'clock, like right after I watched it, then we probably would have just pushed on and done the Breakfast at Tiffany's review. But having to watch the show and do that review right after really is a time crunch. Is that what you would say? Yeah. So, instead, I wanted to review a movie that I actually... God, why am my throat so bothered? I'm acting like Safi now. So, last night, I just wanted to watch a movie for fun, and I found another movie that might help me recover past life memories, and that movie is the Gnome-Mobile. It's a 1967 movie. It's made by a guy who made... Let's see what else he made, because this is a classic Disney movie. Oh shit, he made Mary Poppins. I almost said Harry Poppins. That's how fucked up I am right now. Bedknobs and Broomsticks, Old Yeller, The Absent-Minded Professor, like Jane Eyre. God, this guy made a lot of quote-unquote good movies, movies that people have said are really good. If he made Miracle on 34th Street, too, that is next level. Oh, wait, is that like a remake? Yeah, it is. Ooh, what's that? They actually made like a remake in 1955? Why would they do that? Why did they... What? Why did they do that? They made like some shitty remake of Miracle on 34th Street like a couple years after the original? Like, what the hell? That is really bizarre. You know what? For this year, for the Christmas season, we should just review all the versions of Miracle on 34th Street, so that we can see what was so important that they had to make this movie with MacDonald Carey and Teresa Wright. I mean, who the fuck are those people? Who's that MacDonald Carey? I've never heard of him. Oh, he was in Shadow of a Doubt. Well, that makes me look stupid. Oh, he was also in End of the World. Well, that figures. Anyways, back to the movie. I was really excited to watch this because it's a 60s movie. 60s movies are my jam. They always have been my jam. I love like old movies like from the 30s to the 70s, really. Well, the 70s movies aren't really old movies. But yeah, I love these types of movies because this is what Disney used to be like when it was a good company. Like, I'd much rather see a bunch of Gnome-Mobiles in theaters than ever see a Marvel movie again. Because what they've done with these modern Disney movies is just, it's atrocious, and it's terrible. And no matter how many fanboys, praise Disney on Twitter, that isn't going to change the reality that Disney has become a really shitty company. They don't know what to do with anything, and they suck. They suck with everything. They suck making movies. They suck. The actors that they hire suck. Like that fucking ugly girl they got to play Snow White. Like, ooh. Like, talk about a pretentious, bratty, full of herself actress. You'll never see me working with an actress or actor who acts like she does, because I actually have standards for like the people that I work with. I want to enjoy working with the people that I work with. I don't want to work with somebody like that. And these old movies, they had genuinely good people in them. Like this movie, what an amazing cast. You had a lot of actors from Mary Poppins, including the kids. The main two kids from Mary Poppins are the stars of this movie, and they're just so good. Like, the kids from Mary Poppins, like, they are just so good together. They're so nice. They're such pleasant characters to watch in a movie. And it was really a treat to see them in another movie besides that, because I had only ever seen Mary Poppins. I never saw any of the other movies that they were in together. And I saw it was really unfortunate because the boy, he apparently died at like a young age from some sort of an illness that he got in India. And I felt really bad about that, because he was such a great actor, him and her. They were so good. So this movie is all about this logging company guy. He is the owner of a logging company, and he is EJ, is that his name? No, DJ Mulrooney. And he takes his niece and nephew to the woods, to the redwoods, where Bohemian Grove is. And he takes them to have a picnic, I guess. And that's when the kids discover gnomes. You have this young guy gnome, and I thought he was probably the weakest actor in the movie. He was probably the one with the least experience, and he was just kind of like he's kind of like, remember back in school, like when they would have people come in from places around the country to give like presentations, and they'd have those enthusiastic young people, and they'd be like, "Hey guys, how's it going? We having fun? Clap if you're having fun. Yes, yell yes if you're having fun." Like those types of guys that are really fake and phony, and they're just kind of weird. Like there's just something off about those people. Like all those presentations we had in school, they were just so similar. Like you'd have the hype guy, and he'd be like, "Hey guys, how's it going? Are we having fun?" And then he'd get to the presentation, and everyone would fall asleep. That's what happens at school presentations. So, you have him and his father. Now, this was the part that really fucked me up, because the main actor, he not only played the logging executive, he played the father gnome as well. And I'm not kidding you guys when I say that I didn't figure that out until after I finished the movie, and I looked up the movie, and I was like, wait, what? Because he did such a good job acting. I mean, that's how good these people used to be. They could play multiple roles, and you couldn't even tell. You could not tell at all. Like, what a fucking legendary actor that he was able to do that. And I know probably some people could recognize him, but wow, I was really impressed. The gnome father was actually, he was one of my least favorite parts about the movie. Unfortunately, even though I said he did a good job playing a different character, he was really annoying. The whole movie he's like yelling and screaming, and he's really obnoxious. But I still like the movie, and we'll get into more of the story and more of what I thought now, too. So, the dad is really sad, and he is dying. He is really weak because he is unhappy that his son is unhappy. And his son is unhappy because he can't get laid. I'm not kidding you guys. This is a plot of a Disney children's film from the 60s. He is upset because he cannot get laid with a female gnome. And so the dad gnome is like withering away and really like sad and like just that's what he sounds like the whole movie. He sounds like what Bernie the cat sounded like at the vet today. When we took him to the vet, he was like, you know? And so the kids, first off, they gotta convince their uncle, or is it their uncle or their grandfather? I can't remember. Oh wait, grandfather, because I am so stupid that I didn't look right in front of me on the letterboxed page where it says an eccentric millionaire and his grandchildren. Like, what the hell? Like, I know, that's pretty embarrassing. So they get their grandfather to believe that the gnomes are real. And what they come to find out is that the gnome people have been really messed up for the past couple of years because of these logging companies going to all these forests and tearing down all the beautiful trees. And so this movie is kind of like an anti-logging movie, an like tearing down nature movie, which I think is really good. I think that, you know, nowadays I think a lot of people in America could really watch this movie and learn something. And stop tearing down all this nature around all over the place, because like it's a huge problem, and it's really really bad. I think it's like terrorism. It's nature terrorism because you're terrorizing nature, and so that's kind of what they treat it like. They treat it like, look, these guys come in, they all yell timber. And then these giant trees fall down and it almost kills us. It's like, that really is terrifying, right? Like, if you're a fucking gnome, and all of a sudden there's this huge guy, and he's like, timber! And then, boom! That's like hell. That sounds like a terrorist attack right there. It sounds like, And so the gnomes, they are kind of the vehicle for spreading this anti-destruction of nature message. And I think that that's a good thing, because the children in the 60s, they could see this, and hopefully they wouldn't grow up to be like the people in the logging company in this movie. But that's kind of the funny thing, obviously, is that the owner of the logging company and his grandchildren, they are confronted with this issue. And so the grandfather, he wants to help out these gnomes, and so that's kind of why the movie is called the Gnome-Mobile, is because they're driving these gnomes around looking for babes for him to lose his virginity to. I'm not kidding, guys. That's the plot of the movie. I'm not fucking kidding. It's that cool. I mean, they would never make this movie nowadays. You know, nowadays you'd have Peter Dipshit Dinklage coming out and complaining about it and being like, "Yeah, you're making a movie with gnomes, yeah." And it's like, well, wait a second. This is a great movie. This is a great kids movie. It's a great family movie. It's an educational film. It's very, very fun and pleasant and just light and comedic, without being too light and too goofy, and it's just such a refreshing movie. It's such a breath of fresh air after seeing all these terrible modern movies where they're just so stuck up and overly serious, and, you know, they don't really have any movies for children anymore. And it's like, this is a movie that I'd be proud to show to a child. You know, like, if when I will have children, I will show them this movie, and I'll say, see, look, this is why you don't grow up and tear down nature and destroy nature. You need to leave up those trees so that they can have Bohemian Grove parties and ritual sacrifices. You know, that's just something they need to do in Hollywood. And so, you know, don't tear down those trees, leave up the trees so that, you know, what did Alex Jones say? He said that, like, some of them would, like, strip naked and hug the trees in the middle of the night or some shit. Like, it's pretty hilarious. Honestly, like, I wouldn't blame those people for hugging trees naked. Like, they're really beautiful, these trees, these redwood trees. Like, honestly, I would like to get naked and hug a tree right now. Is there anything wrong with that? Is that going to hurt the tree? I don't think the tree has feelings except for when they tear them down so that they can build unnecessary developments and unnecessary properties. I think that the trees would be happy for me to rub up against them and just go, "Hello, tree. I'm soaking up all your nutrients. Yeah, ultimate power. Yeah. I'm going to become president now." That's probably what I would do. I would ask the tree, say, "Hey, Mr. Tree or Mrs. Tree, I don't know how I would be able to tell how it's a female tree or a male tree. Let's just assume that it's hopefully a female tree that I'm hugging. I'll be like, Mrs. Tree, please give me the power to become president so I can do what I want to do." That's what I would do, honestly. Like, I don't see anything wrong with that. So, let's get back to the movie. This is kind of where the movie kind of dips a little bit. It's not terrible. It's not bad. It's just in terms of, when you look at the movie's poster, it's called the Gnome-Mobile. And you have all these gnomes on the cover, and most of the movie is actually spent elsewhere. It is spent, this whole middle section of the movie, you have this side plot about, they go to this hotel called the Cedar Creek Lodge. And there's this really kind of funny altercation where everybody in the lobby can hear these gnomes screaming and they think that they're pets or something. And then you have this evil, greasy carnival barker guy, and he runs a freak show, which I was really disappointed we didn't get to see, like, a freak show or something, because I wanted to see a freak show. Like, that would have been fun. I don't know why they couldn't have done that. Kids would love that too, like, because he goes up to the kids and he gives them 2 free tickets. And I was so shocked because, nowadays it really feels like if the kids got 2 free tickets that they would become like a part of the plot. Like, oh, we got to go to the show. We got to go to see the freak show and then we'll figure out what's happening. But no, that never happens, and I was really shocked by that. But the carnival guy, he finds out that they have gnomes, and he wants to kidnap them. And then the gnomes find out that this is the Mulrooney family, which really pisses them off. Rightfully so. And so then the grandfather and his grandson, they go away to get the car fixed, the Gnome-Mobile. They go to get it fixed, and then the daughter is there, and the daughter falls for a trick where the carnival guy gets on the phone and says, your father's been in an accident. That used to be the thing all the time, too. Like, whenever you were taught about stranger danger, you were either taught, like, look, a strange adult will either come up to you to give you candy, or they will say your parents have been in an accident of some kind. And like that, and so I felt like it was really strange that this little girl fell for that so easily, when especially in this time period, that was such a typical thing for people to warn their children about. And we never see the kids' parents in this movie either. So she falls for it, and the gnomes get kidnapped. And then the grandfather, he is pretty crazy, honestly. Like, he's a crazy guy. He's really over the top in, like, a really fun way, where it's almost like he's on cocaine or something in real life. Like, I was like, he really acts like a badass, like, grandfather, like somebody who you wouldn't want to screw around with. Because he finds out, and he's like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call my security team at work, led by Mr. Rutherford from Leave It to Beaver, and they're going to take care of it. And instead of taking care of it, they put him in a nut house. And so, instead of spending time with, like, the gnomes in the forest, there's this whole section in the middle of the movie where the grandchildren have to break him out of the nut house. I felt like, interestingly enough, it was the best part of the movie. It was hilarious. And it's laugh out loud funny. Like, they do this thing where the grandson and him, they have to pretend like they're snoring because the grandfather snores so loud, so they have to go like, and they have to make like these like really loud snoring noises as they saw open the bars on the window. And this is the part that was really funny. The grandfather was like, I used to bend bars bigger than this back in the day, and he bends the asylum's bars after he saws the tops of them open. And I thought that was so hilarious and bizarre and funny. And it just so much stuff with the breaking out of the nut house was really good. So, oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, like, another hilarious thing is that the kids, they have to drive to the asylum. And so you got the son from Mary Poppins, and he is driving this car to the asylum. It's so funny. It's so good. Definitely a highlight moment of the movie. And they end up tracking down the bad guy while also being chased by Mr. Rutherford and people at the nut house. And this is kind of where the movie is kind of weird to me, because they catch the son gnome, and the dad gnome gets away and runs into the forest. And they defeat the carnival guy, but then the carnival guy, he literally just drops off of the movie. Like, he was kind of like the villain of the movie, I guess. But he like drops out of the movie. Like, he is out of the movie for the rest of the time. And that was another surprising thing. And finally, the journey becomes, we have to find Nobby the gnome, the dad, in the forest. They finally find him, and he is with another gnome who is played by the laughing guy from Mary Poppins. You know, the guy who was like, you know, the guy who was floating wasn't he floating against the ceiling or something weird like that in Mary Poppins? This was like his last movie. So, it was nice seeing him. Oh, shit. I dropped the computer mouse. Ugh. Now, this is where the movie gets really bizarre. Really, really bizarre. The son is like, where's all the other gnomes at? I want to meet gnomes. And then they bring out all these male gnomes. And the son's like, no, that's not what I mean. I want girl gnomes. And so then they bring out this like harem of girls. Beautiful women gnomes. And he's like, ooh, which one do I want to pick? And then he wants to pick the violet one, the one at the very end. And honestly, I think she would have been the one that I picked too, out of all of them. It's pretty tough to say, though, because they didn't show them for very long. And, you know, I couldn't really say, but I think that would be the one that I would want to go with. And then he finds out, like, oh, no, you can't do that, because there has to be this competition where you get lathered up with soap and water, and then you have to jump around and run around, and one of the girl gnomes has to catch you and hold you for 7 seconds. And so I think, like, after this whole big car chase between the Gnome-Mobile and then Mr. Rutherford, I forgot to mention that. That was also really cool. After that, you have like 20 minutes where it's just these girls chasing after this guy, and trying to hold on to him for 7 seconds. It's really hilarious. And so that was pretty weird. And then finally, Violet is obviously the one who wins, and they're both happy, thankfully. And then I think that's about it. Oh, and then the main guy, he pledges to give them 50 acres of untouched redwood forest. And so he puts all the gnomes in his car, and they're going to drive off and take them to their new forest. And that's where the movie ends. Now, there's like 3 songs in the movie. It's really 2 songs because one of them is repeated. But the songs were okay. You know, they weren't too annoying. They weren't too obnoxious. There weren't too many songs. It was just the right amount to me. And overall, I had a lot of fun with this movie. I would definitely recommend it. I wasn't planning on doing a review, especially because I did not have any triggered memories from watching the movie. I did not have any problem sleeping. In fact, I don't even remember what I dreamed about at all. So that was kind of the unfortunate part. In terms of food, I would give this movie a McDonald's ice cream cone, because that's something that I used to get a lot as a kid. In fact, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it's 100% true, but from what I remember, in fact, I will fact check this right now so I don't look foolish. I used to really love getting a dipped cone, you know, a cone with chocolate dipped on it. And I thought that I used to get that at McDonald's. McDonald's dipped cone. Dipped cone. Discontinued. Okay, so it's they used to have it for sure, right? Yes. See? That used to be what I got all the time. I loved getting that dipped cone. I loved it. But then they got rid of it, like really, really sad. Just because, like, the chocolate was great, and then you get to the inside, and you get that beautiful, luscious vanilla ice cream that, you know, no other ice cream around tastes like McDonald's ice cream. And then you get to the cone, and the cone tastes really good too. And it's like everything about McDonald's ice cream cones tastes really, really good. And it's really sad that they don't have the dipped cone anymore at McDonald's, because I would get it and oh shit, yeah, they also used to have the twist cone, you know, the chocolate and vanilla. Oh yeah, that used to be amazing as well. I just forgot because it's been so long. You know, for the longest time now, they've just had vanilla. And so I just don't really get it anymore. But if they brought it back, I would get it. Just like if Disney started making good movies again without political agendas, I would start seeing Disney movies again in theaters. Like, there's nothing more that I would love to do than going to the theaters to see a good Disney movie. There's nothing more that I'd like to do. Like, for all the shit that we give Disney and all the criticism that we give all these terrible people who work there, make these terrible movies, you got to admit, like, movies like the Gnome-Mobile, they were something special. They were something where, you know, other kids' movies weren't really as good as Disney movies. There was a magic to Disney movies. That's why the opening to Disney, you had that shine, right? The thing with the castle, and you had the sparkling and the fireworks. It's because there was a magic to Disney movies. There was a magic to seeing the Gnome-Mobile and seeing this funny movie and this goofy, light movie with a good message and good actors and a good story. You don't get that anymore. You get the Marvels with 3 terrible actresses and their stupid feminazi propaganda and their shitty CGI and sucking out all the color from the movie, and you get shit. Like, that's another thing with this movie. It's a beautiful Beautiful movie with lots and lots of color. Every frame of the movie is like a painting. Which I know isn't there a channel called Every Frame a Painting or Every Frame a Picture or something? Like, every frame of the Gnome-Mobile is beautiful. Every frame of the Marvels is ugly. That's what Disney has become. They have become ugly, and they suck. So anyways, totally recommend this movie. Please like this video and comment and tell me what you thought about the Gnome-Mobile. I would love to see more movies like this. In fact, I really just like to do like a Disney month. You know, just old Disney movies without any politics that are really, really good. Maybe not all of them are great, but, you know, maybe they're at least okay. Because this movie, it wasn't the greatest, but it was still really, really entertaining. And I was glued to the screen from beginning to end, which is something that doesn't happen with movies nowadays. As I told you guys, I hardly ever get like glued to the screen anymore as I do with like old movies that are actually of quality. And then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more honest movie reviews. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.